Hey Matrix Live, Ben here, and I'm here with a pair of cool cats who are Will, who is half shot, and Abhinav, who is our one of our GSOCers this year, one of the many seven. So hey chaps,
Hello.
Hello.
hey, and you are focused mostly, as you might expect, on bridging and especially on email bridging.
Yes,
Can we
yes.
hear? So Abhinav's a GSOC student. Can we hear more about your project? Who wants to introduce
Okay,
it?
so like most probably all of these people hearing this live already might have been getting to know about this email bridge. Like this is one of the last missing pieces among so extremely sorry. I just got a call. Sorry.
That's all right.
I
It's
moved.
so funny. So we've been plagued by tech trouble this whole time.
Sorry, extremely sorry. I
No, don't
just
worry, dude. It goes, it goes.
that's why I
We can edit
got
it
it.
out in
All right,
post.
so all right, so what I want to know is you're talking about email bridging. Isn't the
Yes.
market flooded with email bridges? Why are we making another email bridge?
Like I think this is one of the last missing puzzle of for Matrix. Like like if you ask half short, you probably get to know like we have bridges for almost everything.
Yeah,
So this is probably the last puzzle missing.
yeah, we need an email bridge. But
I
half
think,
shot, do you want to answer why this one?
yeah. So this is sort of a turning the thing on its head style bridge. We have email bridges that exist where you usually stick an MTA somewhere else, and emails go for the MTA to the bridge and then to Matrix. So there's a reason we did this, I guess, in two ways. One, we wanted to experiment and build an MTA bridge, like all in one piece, where the bridge is the inbound connection, sort of like building another federation endpoint onto your Matrix server almost.
Okay.
The other thing is some people don't like running email servers. I'd actually
No.
probably venture to guess that a lot of people who run Matrix do it because they don't necessarily want to be running their own email servers.
No.
And this bridge is basically you just start it up in Docker, run it, and then provided you get some certificates that look valid, I think it will just work. Obviously with some like DNS tweaks, but the idea is basically in 5 minutes you can have emails coming from people into your Matrix server with no additional faff, which I think is appealing to nearly everybody.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I haven't run an email bridge in a server in 10 plus years. So yeah, this is going to be great. And what is going to be the deployment of this? Is it an EMS project, or is it just a coincidence that you work for EMS too?
So it's going to get deployed to EMS at some point. We're really keen on this. Of course, the idea was never to have a GSOC a student work for EMS stuff. That would be totally wrong.
That's not the spirit of the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but it totally is something we want to do because obviously EMS customers want the ability to have emails appear in their rooms, and that's all good to have. And we're just gonna deploy this thing at some point and test it. I mean, this is totally. We're not sure whether it'll be a product or anything like that. I certainly can comment on the product nature of it.
Oh, we should
But
focus on our Abhinav though.
yeah.
What were the steps that you took to create the bridge? What was your first deliverable? Say.
Okay, so the first thing that probably started this bridge would be finding out what needs to be done. Like we have to find something which handles SMTP protocol inside. Like we were using Node.js library, the Matrix App Service Bridge library for building this. So we wanted to like integrate the SMTP MTA part inside the bridge. So the bridge would handle all the like MTA process rather than or in something like postfix or
Gotcha. Yes, it needs to be
yeah,
self-containing. Yes.
yes. Like so after that we explored some libraries, things like that. We found SMTP server which is maintained by NodeMailer for handling the inbound part, but that was it. Like that was a dead end for us. Like there wasn't any node library which handled the outbound part for SMTP. So after a
Is
little
that
bit
right?
of
There was no node library to handle outgoing
yes, but
SMTP.
like there is one like it's called SendMail. From the names, it may look like it's a wrapper for SendMail, but it's really not.
Huh.
Like, but the problem is that it is like it's pretty old and it is
Yeah.
unmaintained.
Yeah.
So we kind of took inspirations from that library as well for building a SMTP capable, like bidirectional capable bridge. So that's it, and we have added like TLS support opportunity, TLS upgrading for outbound connections, and we have DKIM signing ready for ensuring deliverability basically. Like, and we have plans for that. So that's the part we have finished right now. And like for the progress, we wanted to do something like a spam control. Like if we are hosting a public email service, you you would have already guessed, like we would be getting thousands of spams every day.
Yeah, got you. Yeah.
So we should have some kind of mechanisms handling these spams outside of the outside this matrix ecosystem. Like we have some spam bots and all inside matrix, but we have to handle some outside.
Yeah, you have to do it on the bridge side as well. This sounds
Yeah.
like a huge scope for a GSOC project. So you handle the TLS, you handled the mail server itself. So
Yeah.
am I to understand that you've built a functioning mail server in Node as part of the project? That seems
That
way out of
wasn't
scope
intentional.
compared to what I thought.
That wasn't intentional, but we had to build it eventually.
I want to point out I didn't say to him on the first day, right now build me a mail server. But I think GSOC is one of those things where you have like a brief that you think is small and self-contained. And I think, when we started, we went through the milestones and yeah, that's fine. Nothing could go wrong.
Yeah.
And then I think very quickly, because we did a 5-minute Google for libraries and went, oh, there's everything's there that we need. And as soon as you start it in a few weeks, you go, oh, actually, it's not really all there. But I think that's pretty fun as a project to learn this stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
at least from the outside, it's not something that's had to go through the gauntlet of actually building this stuff.
Incredible. I mean, okay, so does that mean that the bridge has... So the email side is thorough and, uninteresting to our audience. So let's think about the matrix side. Does the bridge do things like generate new rooms for new contacts? So will I end up with my room list, it'll contain email addresses on the other side, or is it by subject, or how does that work?
Okay, so like for existing rooms there, which does have a public alias, we do not have any problem. Like we can just email from outside, like to address as like room plus the room alias plus underscore home server name at the rate.
So it's a
Like,
mapping, yeah.
yeah, like mapping. Like on the matrix side, you will get like if someone is direct messaging you from the email side, you will get a new room created, like how you would interact to a native matrix user.
Gotcha. Okay, I see. All right, so that is what people want, is the thing. They want it to be transparent, but most especially on the matrix side, because that's where they're going to be sitting. They just need the externals to see clean emails at the same time. I want to see this bridging to Delta Chat next. And then they're using it on an instant messaging fashion. That's super cool. All right, what are the next steps for this? Because you must be coming to the end of your official time on this project.
Yes, it's already pretty late. Like it's going to end on 23rd for GSOC students, but we have as a future plans, like we need to add a spam protection, and that's one of the important thing. And the other thing would be to add some kind of a rate limiting. Like if you are a part of a like what you say, a public room with maybe thousands of people, your inbox may get spammed with thousands
You
of
can
emails
mail
per
bomb
second.
somebody by accident by just attaching a mail server to it. Yeah.
So we have to do that also. So that's the most pending part.
Cool.
There might be some interesting work to do something like a ammonia style thing where because ammonia is obviously the matrix anti-spam module of choice. What might be an interesting thing that we might look at is how do we combine the existing matrix anti-spam with bridges in general to save us and to sort of re-implement anti-spam again, because I'm sure we don't want to end up down the path where we maintain our anti-spam modules. But I mean, there's so many ways you can cut this thing. I'm just really putting it out there.
Yeah. I mean, ideally, you would protect for spam at both ends of the chain, wouldn't you? But is that overkill? Is that just expense? And are there different characteristics of spam on both ends of the chain that you need to take into account? I don't know answers to these questions.
I don't know how spam how like we have basic protection, like we need some kind of like room plus room alias plus underscore home server in a perfectly formatted fashion to receive emails. So that is like I wouldn't call like a spam protection, but it can be some
Yeah, yeah,
you can consider it as some sort of protection.
yep.
So after that, maybe if we could implement like I was thinking, like maybe if we could like implement our spam to check for incoming spams as well as outgoing spams. So
Yep.
that would be great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. So it's again, it's both sides of the bridge. All right, all right. This is all right. I mean, I'm actually amazed by how much work has been done here and how much progress you folks have made. Let's talk about the almost the softer side. So how is it? How has your experience been, Abhinav, dealing with Half Shot and dealing with the community and just getting onboarded into Matrix in general, I guess.
Yeah, like I started pretty late. I was after. Do you remember when was it, like? Yeah. So I messaged Halfshot like for before the closing of proposal submit, and
Yep.
we had some chats about how I would suggest the bridge to be implemented, and we took look at some libraries, and after that I think we had some buffer times to discover and try out these various bridges, and we took some time to decide on what which all libraries had to be decided, and it wasn't that much tiring at all. Like we had a lot of reference implementations, but the documentation was like a bit difficult. So I would
Yeah.
casually ping Halfshot or Tole, who is not here, who is my second mentor.
Yep.
I would casually ping both of them if
Yeah.
something goes out of hand or like I need some direction.
Yeah, I mean that's what the mentors are for, and also these guys are sat on their matrix all day anyway. So yeah, it's. I think that's fine.
I always said that I do this as a job, so for me, it's more important that you get reviews and you get the time from me because you've got much more limited time than I do. And also to me, GSOC's a very precious thing because I started off as GSOC student, and so it's sort of one of those things I think is really a big onboarding task to your career, but also Matrix and everything. It's great to get as much richness you can out of that process, I think.
Yeah, definitely. No, we're big promoters of GSOC here. I think it's a superb program. All right, Abhinav, thank you for being involved, and thank you for summarizing your work. It's actually a lot more than I realized at the start of the call. So I'm very impressed to see all that. But the bridges themselves are still kind of going crazy. Halfshot, can you give us
That's a good crazy.
an overview? Maybe I'm just going to let you monologue now, and I'll interrupt you if I don't understand something.
Sure. It's going to turn up into sort of a change log, I guess. Yeah, we're sort of doing a lot of things. One of the sort of minor points is with on my EMS hat, if I put that on for a minute, is I've been working on Signal WhatsApp bridges. Basically, this is just packaging up Chile's excellent existing bridges for EMS. Pretty much, we've done a small fork, which is just calculating some billing information. But beyond that, it's basically all there. People can get it today, and it's good fun. It's been pretty popular, honestly. People really want to move away from WhatsApp and Signal. Must be something with those apps that people hate. But so that's a fun thing. Big news is the Matrix app source bridge library is moving to the bot SDK. For those of you who don't know, the Matrix bot SDK is a TypeScript library that Travis has spent a lot of time pouring his love into. And I spent a little bit less time putting my love into as well. And it's actually a really superb library for bots and bridges. We used to use the JS SDK, which is the thing that powers Element for the bridge library, but I've switched over to Boss SDK for two reasons. One, it's really well designed for bridges, as in it's got much lower memory footprint because it doesn't store the state you might need for a client. And the other thing is that it has types, as in all the types are there from day one. And that's a handy thing to have if you're a bridge developer doing your TypeScript stuff. So we're working on that. There's an RC 3.0 out now. And I'd encourage everybody who's using this library and also newcomers to test this thing out, the new RC, see what breaks and give us some feedback. Because I think, a week from now, we'll be using the Boss SDK and the JS SDK will be history.
So what benefits have you seen? You must have seen lower memory.
Hopefully, yes. So the RC bridge is one of the things that uses a lot of memory at high capacity, and so we're trying to shave away because there's usually about 20,000 matrix clients in that bridge if you're using the LibreChat bridge. If each individual instance is a bit less memory in its footprint, that's a big saving. We've not managed to deploy this update anywhere to a production system, but we've tested it locally and it's looking great. So I'm hopefully have some more reports on that.
And when do you think you're going to go live with that? I mean, can you do it on a smaller server first, or is there not a smaller server?
Yeah, we've got loads of servers. So we've got a local RSC server, or if we've got a internal company RSC server, we'll test this on first to see if it breaks. But I would like to get sort of solicited feedback from everybody using this library because it's a breaking change. It's always good to find out what we're going to break. The library is designed for developers in mind, so it's really good to make sure the developers are happy before we release the thing.
Definitely. So this is benefiting the IRC, the Gitter bridge. Will it eventually benefit Slack as well?
Slack, Bifrost, the email bridge, as it turns out, I think. So lots of things will benefit from this library. And so, I'm hoping it will really make a difference. Especially developer satisfaction, I think it'll be good.
Right, yeah, I agree.
So I guess we've just got time to do my final update.
There's two more. Haven't you got a new pal?
Oh God, yes. Sorry, Tactic. Tactic is our recent hire for the bridge team, who's a long-term community member who's turned up, and within weeks of him starting, he's done a great job on the RSC bridge. So you might have noticed on LibreChat, you've got better reply formats finally, and the reply format is so much better. And that's all thanks to him basically spending time and just, changing the formats up. We've also got better message preview rendering. So when you send a long message to RSC, it used to say, click here to read it, which is super frustrating.
Yeah. Yep. I know that was such a bugbear for the IRC folk, yeah.
And that's been changed to now we have a preview, like a fairly long preview before you click it. So basically, it's just like of spam. You can just avoid clicking a button to save yourself some time, which is an improvement. Edits are coming soon. We're basically changing it to be more like a sed format or like a diff rather than the full star and the whole message. So the old bridge would just send the whole message again with a star in front of it.
Yeah.
And we're changing it to just be a diff. So if you change one word, it will just show you the word difference. Is
that readable by humans, though? I guess people who are on IRC are used to reading diffs, maybe.
We're soliciting feedback for that one as well. So there are a few conversations going on about the best way to do it, but generally people are more or less assured that showing the whole message again is not very high.
I guess that's the problem, right?
So, a whole bunch of things, and huge thanks to Tactic for cracking on with those. I think the IC Bridge is kind of from strength to strength there.
Yeah, welcome Tactic. Perhaps we'll have a chat with them on here in the future.
I think we could do a Matrix Live each week with a new bridge member.
Well, to be frank, with Element hiring at the moment, we probably could just fill up Matrix Live with that. All right, Con, and you've got a final super cool thing.
I'm really hoping this is going to work. This is basically a project of mine that I went to a shop on the last weekend, a Lego shop, because I've not been to one of those recently. And I picked up a car, which I thought, Lego Mindstorms is a cool thing. I'm going to buy this remote control car, get it home, and then look at the app. And the app they give you is good, but also virtually no controls. And I thought I could just put this on Matrix and be way much better. So this is basically a Lego car running over Matrix. And with any luck, it might even move.
And it's using Conduit.
It's using Conduit to power the event sending. Yeah, I'm both going to go around this, and I'm just going to knock it over. There we go.
So wow, what are you using to control this? Well,
so I basically got a Bluetooth switch controller. You can see up here. Basically connected to a switch controller there. This is running over basically HTML5 style web controls. So you've got a not quite WebRTC camera feed there. It's actually just my local camera. You've got the gamepad API to do controlling. And all it's really doing is sending these events, which you probably can't quite capture, but they're events basically being sent over Conduit to the car. And it just drives around. And it's really good fun.
Amazing. Does it? Okay, so is there not a problem like you got with early drones where you send it a speed event and then it loses track of the next event and it just drives forever? How do you handle things like that?
There are going to be algorithms to deal with this in the future, where you basically probably send it a state event saying this is what you should do in a case of these sort of things, and you can configure it through the state events, basically.
Gotcha.
Algorithms through there. Because this is literally a weekend project. For now, it's literally sending events to motors.
Right.
But it's very extendable as a thing as it goes. This is all on GitHub. I put a link in Swim, so you can go play with it if you happen to own one of these things. But I mean, we hope to do a lot more of it in the future. And hopefully we can make a product out of this, I hope.
I love it. I mean, what can we... The thing is, how can we self-drive a Tesla using Matrix?
I mean, in theory, totally fine. This is more or less a project to experiment at how bad the latency would be if you tried to do this. It's not too bad. I mean, running locally over my local network, over a conduit that's running in Docker.
Yeah.
But, I'm actually quite surprised that timeline events are not as slow as they thought they'd be. But yeah, I think we could do a lot more with this if we wanted to. It's really good fun to have play with it.
It looks great fun, yeah.
Is
there a video on the TWIM this week for that?
There's an entry. I might put a video up as well so people can watch it, but I'm hoping to also watch this.
Yeah.
I want to basically put this over Federation at some point in the future so people can drive the car from remotely. We'll see how well that one works.
Great. And what else could we attach a motor to? I'm thinking, like a motor attached to a feeder in a pet enclosure or something.
These are very well because it's Lego. It's basically you get two motors and a hub, and basically all you do is you just plug them into things. So we could easily, connect it to anything, feeder or a door or something like that. There's so many options for it.
Attach it to your front door, and we'll have people over Matrix
slamming my door.
All right, I'm coming to time. I need to go. Should we say goodbye?
Goodbye, Ben, and goodbye, people who watch.
Goodbye.
Abhinav, thank you for your time. Thanks all. See you later. Thanks, Matrix Live. Bye.